Welcome to another in the series, Sip and Chat, a place where we talk about the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. It's our pleasure this afternoon to be coming into your homes and to be talking about the goodness of the Lord. Welcome to another in the series, Sip and Chat, a place where we examine life issues, the highs, the lows, the pitfalls, the valleys, and the mountains. We seek to empower our viewers with skills on how to overcome all of these challenges and how to ride the tides of life that often present themselves to us. This evening, I want to talk to us about an issue, the whole matter of retirement. But I want to take it from a different stance this afternoon. I had the privilege to speaking just recently to a group of retirees. And when I was going, and I remember preparing the speech, and I said to someone, as I read the speech, I said, my opening remarks was, congratulations on your retirement. And someone looked at me and they frowned. And they said to me, why would you say to people that are retiring, congratulations? And I had the opportunity then, like I'm doing now, to say to that person that retirement is not an expiration. In fact, the word retire means the closure of your work life at a place of employment. Now, this could be due for different reasons, but more importantly, it's usually linked to the fact that you have reached a certain age in an organization. In Jamaica, for some it's 60 and for others it's 65, male or female. Now, retirement is a time when we should sit back and we should really see it as a time of reflection. So here we go in this matter of, whole matter of retirement. First of all, what we must embrace is that, like Solomon said, the wisest man who ever lived. He's known for many things. He had many wives and many concubines. But of course, the wealth of knowledge that he has left us in the book of Ecclesiastics and Proverbs and Songs of Solomon are very, very important, nuggets and lessons and teachings that we can use along the way. And one of the things that he said to us in the book of Solomon is that he said, in Ecclesiastics rather, is that for everything there is a season, a purpose for everything under the sun. And then he proceeded to explain different parts, a time to kill, a time to die, a time to gather stones, and he went right through. So one of the things I want to open by saying today is that retirement is a time when we retire from one form of employment one form of engagement to a new level of engagement in our lives. No, a lot of people need to understand, and I'm going to go through the different things that happen. Now, just like grieving, a lot of time for some people when they've retired, some people will accept it. Yes, I've waited for this moment. But a lot of people are in denial. You see, the issue with retirement is not about the act itself. It's a fact that those who are now presented with this issue, our status in their life or their work life was not as engaged and prepared for it, which is why they have the challenge. So we want to say to everyone out there today, let us always try to prepare for our retirement. You can never be too young to start preparing for your retirement. And the truth be told is that if you start early, then your whole mindset is different when that time approaches. In fact, in this new generation, there are many persons who can't wait to be retired because in their minds, they think that they're ready. But the reality is when the rubber actually meets the road. But for those who are retired, let me say this to you. Even if at the time of your retirement, you have not yet accomplished all that you had set out to achieve, you still haven't bought the yacht, you still haven't gotten the picket fence, you still haven't achieved the car of your dreams, the fact that you are able to look back in your right mind, your mental faculties are in order at the time of your retirement, that is indeed a milestone. Many persons, when they're being celebrated for retirement or long service, they're not even present. And especially when we reflect on the COVID period that has passed and how many persons have just transitioned from this life to the next life, we need to learn to celebrate the moments in our lives. So retirement is indeed an accomplishment, a milestone. We must understand that mindset is everything. Sometimes when one door closes another door opens. But like Alexander Graham Bell says to us, when one door closes and another door opens, we often look so long and regrettably at the closed door that we fail to see that one that has opened in front of us. So for many persons, when retirement presents itself, they are so hung up on what am I going to do now? My life has come to an halt. Let me tell you, you retire from one stage in your life and a new door is open. As somebody said, you have not turned off one avenue and you're about to mount a new highway. But mindset is everything. The truth be told, no one actually allows you to feel retired except yourself. So that is very, very important. I want to also introduce this concept that the truth be told, you should not really retire mentally, but you should rethread. You know, there are these tires, and when they have done a good journey over time, the car owner or the car manufacturer, they often take in back these tires and they rethread these tires. And guess what? Those tires have as much life. The researchers said that up to 90% durability you can get from them as the ones you had before. Now, think about your own life like that. If at the time when you reach that 65 or 60, you should think that, wow, I'm finished with. I'm no longer, you could have been giving up on a lot of untapped potential. So instead of thinking of retiring, why not think of refiring? Get rethreaded. Get ready to say, what is my next mountain that I must conquer? You see, sometimes we have so much untapped potential, but time has never presented itself. But when you retire, time is now in your hands. You are now the master of your own time. So it's about how we perceive this process and the kind of preparation that we make. Now, you know, a lot of times people talk about retirement from their formal jobs, but I want to say this as well. A lot of people have mentally retired from living. They are not enjoying their life. And many people think that you have to be so wealthy to be able to enjoy life. But that is just a fallacy. Enjoyment in life is being able to experience comfort and satisfaction in the things that you do. Not just for yourself, but how you're able to bring the sunshine into each other's day. So you have to learn how to embrace life, which is what a lot of persons are not able to do. So as we look at this matter of retirement, there is retirement in terms of formal employment and just how having not attained one's goal, how many people have retired from dreaming. But I say to us this afternoon, do not retire. Let us refire. Find the fuel. Get charged up. Retool, re-engineer. And as we will say in Jamaica, sometimes we just need to wheel and come again. In fact, the etymology of re, the prefix re, actually means to come again, anew. So it's not a bad word. So every time you think about retirement, even at your age, whether you'll be 16 or over 16, you need to start thinking, how can I reinvent myself? How can I present myself in terms of my talents, my skills and ability to become new and relevant? All right? Now, if you're a retiree, as I said before, one of the things that you must do is that you must also learn to enjoy your life. Many people have reconciled themselves to think that when they retire, that's it. But no, enjoy what you have worked for. Yes, you have saved up a lot of money. You have done a lot of things. And you did that so that you could be able to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So the R for retire is to rejuvenate. The E is to enjoy life. And enjoy yourself. Engage your mind, your soul, your body, and your spirit. Because guess what? You might have been retired from work, but your body is still active. And you know what you don't use, you will ultimately lose. So you have to find ways to engage your mind. Read. Today we have so many options. People can start their blogging. They can start their own Facebook page. You can do a little, suppose your skill at work was accounting, then now you can probably start a little evening class. But there's so many options. Many people have reinvented themselves after their retirement, and that's what they see as their true legacy. So life doesn't end at 65 or 60. In fact, you might just be embarking on the best days of your life. The best might be still yet to come. So engage your mind. Engage your mind, try new things, and just live life in the way that life ought to be enjoyed. All right? So now that we enjoy our lives, I want us to understand that at the end of your life, you will not be judged by how many diplomas or accolades you have, but not by how much money you made, but how you were able to enjoy that which you made. All right? Now, the other thing that I want to say is that we must take time to do stuff and to embrace, smell the roses. When you were employed, you were always hurrying, you're scoring there, you're scoring there. But now you're able to stop, pause, and smell the aroma of the coffee, smell the fresh air. Oh, you're not disturbed by the alarm clock anymore, the one that gave you anxiety. Wow, if you missed it, it's 5, you're supposed to get up at 5:30, and you missed it, and now you're recognizing it's 7. And you can just imagine when you finally get to work, what will confront you. When you are retired, you are your own boss. So you need to enjoy the time that you now have. Another thing that I want to say to us is that we need to indulge in some things like rest. A lot of people don't like to rest. A lot of people don't know how to just relax in their own space, and just allow the good breeze of nature to just rejuvenate them. So when we think about retirement, as I said earlier on, it's about walking away from one thing but embarking on a new chapter in your life. It's also okay to reminisce about the good old days. Yes, the days when you were 15 and everything was good and all of that. But what is important is that having reminisced on those things, you first of all need to give thanks that you're able to reminisce. But please do not get stuck in the past. Remember that yesterday is yesterday. Today is the present. And what you do in the present is going to impact your future. So capitalize on the here and now. Sometimes you have to be very existential in your thinking. Here and now. How can I be a better me? How can I create a better version of me? So I really want to implore my friends out there, my viewers who are watching this afternoon, especially those who are in church. Sometimes when you think about retirement, you think that, boy, you're done with. No, you're not. This is probably just an important milestone when you can do more in the service of the Lord than you ever even imagined, because you now have more time on your hand and you can become more relevant based on the nature of your calling. So be very optimistic and see how best you can seize this moment of your life to be the best that God wants you to be. Remember, as we think about it, we want to also reap, but we can only reap what we sow. And so for those of us who are still employed or still doing work, it's important for us to sow good seeds, because if we don't sow anything at the time when we're retiring, we won't have anything to show. Invest in yourself tangibly, but always make sure that the legacy that you leave is a legacy of honesty and integrity and trust. And why is that important? Because oftentimes those are some of the things that are going to be needed as you go through the next stage of your life, your character reference. You might not be employed by an organization in the capacity of 9 to 5, but some persons might want to go and they might want to be their own entrepreneur. If the legacy you left while you were in formal 9 to 5 is not a good legacy, then no one will want to engage you. All right? So we have to make sure that we keep our character in check while we are yet employed. It's so important. And when you talk about honesty, integrity, and trust, I want to share with us a story. The story is told about 5 CEOs who were potential successors to the current CEO. But the CEO who was stepping down, he wanted to ensure that his successor was indeed a person of integrity. And so what he did was that he gathered them together and he gave all of these potential successors some pots which they all thought had seeds in them. And he said with earth. So he said to them, at the end of a particular period, they were supposed to bring back the plant that would have grown from the seed that was already inserted in the soil inside the pot. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as time went by, the seeds were in the pot and they would have done their watering and await the sprouting of this plant, the seedling. But they recognized as time went by that the seedlings were not coming forth. And so 4 of these gentlemen decided that they would take the seeds that were in the pot and they would plant new seeds in the pot because they wanted so badly to be the next successor. As time went by, there came the time when all 5 CEOs, potential CEOs, were supposed to present themselves to the outgoing CEO. They came with their young little seedlings looking nice and flourishing. But there was this one potential successor. He came with absolutely nothing. So as they came, they presented their little pots to the CEO. CEO looked at it and he would have, expressed himself. His emotion could be seen as he looked at those young seedlings. And then there came the man. He said, "Sir, this is what I have to present. I did everything that I know that would have been important for the seeds to come forth, but nothing happened." CEO took all the comments and the feedback and he had the 5 pots there. And he said to the 5 CEOs, "Give me some time. I will come back to you shortly with who will be my potential successor. Honesty, integrity, and trust." Legacy that we want to embrace now as we are yet employed, because we will need that recommendation as we move through life and as we retire. So as the CEO returned, he said to them, "My new CEO will be," say his name was John Brown. Everyone was appalled because John Brown was the potential successor whose seeds hadn't come forth. Everyone was appalled. How could this be? Then the CEO indicated that he had actually given them seeds that were not good, seeds that couldn't come forth. But he recognized that of all the 5 persons, this person was the most honest person that he didn't have a problem transitioning his portfolio to. So in life, what we'll do will affect how we make our transition to the different stages in our life. And retirement is also one of those. So honesty, integrity, and trust is important as we seek to go further in our lives. And we think also about retirement, because what we sow, that is what we shall reap. I know that sometimes life can present different challenges, but we have to make sure that we prepare today so that we can have a better tomorrow. Challenges are only natural, but if we invest in the way that we ought to, then some things will not be a challenge. So as I wrap up today, I want to say to us that we must make sure when we hear the word retirement again, that we don't get scared, that we don't get intimidated. But if you're not close enough, it's never too late to start thinking about what are my retirement plans and how do I position myself so that I can have an excellent retirement. I want to leave us with the words from Desiderata. As he says, and we reflect on life, he says, "Go placidly amidst the noise and the haze." And in Jamaica, we know that there is so much noise and there's so much haze. You just have to come out of a building and enter the main thoroughfare to hear all the noise that is happening around us. But we must always keep our goals in mind. Don't get caught up in all that is happening because we must always have the end game in mind. Retirement is not a death sentence, it's not an expiry date. We must always remember that. So, wherever we go, remember that there must be peace in silence and as far as possible without surrender. And as we live in life, we must be on good terms with all people and speak truth quietly and clearly and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant. Remember, retirement is not the end of the road, it is the beginning of the open highway. There are many, many possibilities. And sometimes when people are retiring, one of the good, healthy things to do is just to look back on some of the challenges that you have had. Because, challenges actually comes to make us better. Sometimes when you're on the job, there may be persons who, they really hit you the wrong way. And I've come to appreciate that it's better to let it go. Don't carry home all of that kind of emotion. And sometimes even people are retiring, they still remember the bad incident that they had for the 25 years that they were there and know that they're retiring. They're still embracing that anger. And I marked off that person with an X and say, as long as I live, I will never talk to that person. You want to retire with that kind of emotion? And guess what? There are many instances where the person that you're so upset with is not even cognizant that you're upset with them. And they probably go home in the evenings, have a nice drink, and happy and contented. And you are so upset with everybody around you because of that person at work. So I want to say to us that as we look at the next phase of our life, let us be very optimistic. I've come to appreciate that forgiveness as well is also very, 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 very healthy. It's a very healthy habit, and we should all pick it up. Yes, there are some persons who are going to cross our path, but life is too fragile to be able to be harboring feelings of hate and feelings of resentment towards people. Just let it go. If it is possible, that's what Desiderata says, live peaceable with all men. But it might not always be possible. But as you embrace life and all that life has to offer, you need to let go some things and embrace the newness in your own life. You see, I really want to encourage people who want to think that they need to give up on life. As I close, I'm reminded that it is never the end until there's actually no opportunity for a new beginning. I recall in scripture where the Bible tells us that the fishermen, they were toiling all night. Just like how many persons have been working and they seem that they can't make two ends meet. You try something here, you try something there, and it just seems like nothing is happening for you. I want to say to you that there is hope because there is one who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we could ever ask or imagine. Those fishermen, they were about to retire, give up on fishing. But then the voice of hope came to them and it said to them, launch again. I'm sure they had their doubts. I'm sure they had their, really? But one of the disciples says, whatever he says to do, do it. And so as we reflect on this whole matter of just retiring from things or giving up on things and so on, I want to say to us, always listen to the voice of hope. Sometimes you have toiled all night and you have caught nothing, but you can audibly hear the voice saying to you, launch again. And that's what I say to retirees sometimes. Whatever you have retired from, listen to that voice amidst the challenges. Post-COVID could be your biggest break yet to launch again. The woman, the widowed woman, she was at the edge of the city about to cook her last meal. She said she was going to die after that. But she had an encounter. Sometimes all we need is an encounter with a fresh idea and a fresh voice. And that's what Sip and Chat is. The prophet told her, bake me a cake first. And out of obedience, of honoring the voice of the prophet, she had more than she could ever imagine. Challenges will come. It's part of the natural phenomena of life. But I say to us, do not retire on your dreams. Do not retire on the plans that you have for your families. This could be the season when you need to refire. Rethread those dreams. Get support. Whatever it is, this could be your biggest moment yet amidst all that you have gone through. Do not retire. Refire. The sky is always the limit. And in recent times, I heard a student saying, Miss, we have passed the skies. We're now into the galaxies. Dream again, live again. Do not retire, refire. Thank you once again for joining us on this reflective moment on Sip and a Chat. Thank you so very much.